We got to come up with a fan name for ARK people.
Jason and the Arkonauts. No.
Ooh.
Arkonauts works, because it sounds like astronauts. That's good.
Anarchists, but we'll spell it A-R-K. Comment down below. Best name for ARK fans.
We need a hyperfan name.
Archetypes.
Archetypes. Ooh, that's arkrageous.
The ARK. Episode 2.
At least as of a couple of days ago, no one's talking about the ARK. You can't find videos on it on YouTube. There's 2 or 3, and the people talk about it like it's like the best science fiction show they've ever seen. So I'm not really trusting in what they have to say.
Well, I think Sci-Fi as a channel. First of all, they changed their name to Sci-Fi.
Sci-Fi?
Yeah, Sci-Fi. They did that, and then there was that bleak period where they had Monday Night Raw, and that was weird. And then they specialized in their like Snakes on a Train and like Mega Shark versus Dino Croc and shit like that. So it's been rough. And The Expanse.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's about as sci-fi as you get.
They got accolades for Battlestar Galactica, and then The Expanse was the next thing they got.
So they've been kind of stepping on their dick, and maybe they have budget issues. Maybe they've just been trying to keep it all alive. I don't know.
I think it's a sci-fi channel that's run entirely by people who don't understand sci-fi. Occasionally they blunder into something good, but mostly it's garbage.
And just to be said, I'm perfectly fine with soft sci-fi. Otherwise, I would not be a Star Trek fan, which I am, or a Stargate fan, which I am. These are soft as sci-fi shows. They still manage to pull it out and be entertaining. I mean, y'all like those shows too.
That's the ultimate measure, is did I enjoy watching it?
I just think that what we were laughing so much about on episode 1 is that it's the first show that really tried to they tried to like trick people into thinking they were hard sci-fi, and they're not. They're so.
We'll make a new Expanse.
Yeah, it's as clumsy as like Game of Thrones having its success, and then Amazon racing to get like the Wheel of Time out. Just not understanding why Game of Thrones was awesome.
Well, Wheel of Time was boring. ARK was not boring. ARK was bad in an entirely different way.
The ARK. Episode 2.
It continues to impress.
Well, it wasn't trying, I felt, to establish its air quotes hard sci-fi cred as hard as the first episode. So there weren't as many eye-rolly, amusing, laugh out loud, step on their own dick, trying to be cool kind of moments.
Correct.
So it was less entertaining and amusing in that facet.
They calmed down for sure.
Yeah, somebody was like, "Calm."
I was hoping the whole season was going to go like the first episode, which would have been amazing.
They completely abandoned any pretense of the lead female being the murder suspect, and they heaped it all onto angry Hispanic-looking lieutenant guy.
He's too obvious, too. It's not going to be him.
Oh, they made it so obvious because they're all at the table. Security guy's like,
"How do you know that?"
What?
I haven't told anyone where the blade was introduced into the water system.
And then, boop, boop, some kind of alert happens.
Yeah, that was a good setup, actually.
Are we to believe that intense law enforcement guy is just going to drop the topic because some other thing's going on? No. Are they going to just pick a new person every episode and like, this is the murderer? No, this is the murderer.
Pretty much, yeah. That's how they're going to bait us along the entire time.
I was intrigued by the end of the first episode, thinking that the captain had some kind of shit to hide, but they just completely abandoned any suspense or tension of that particular question in this episode.
Give it back.
He jumps in and throws like a Aikido thing on a guy.
Yeah, he Segals it up in there. He was doing his like slappities.
And then the captain runs in. Little 100-pound captain runs in and starts kung fuing people.
Oh, she Mary Sue's the shit out of that.
Oh my God.
She did get slugged 3 times though. So that was at least realistic.
That's true. She didn't go like River Tam on their asses. It wasn't quite that extreme.
Which leads to my theory, by the way.
Well, okay, wait. Before you say the theory, also in conjunction with her like kung fu and a bunch of really large burly dudes in the mess hall, they raised the specter of her mysterious inclusion into the crew. All right, go ahead.
She had run in and beat the shit out of a whole bunch of people using full Mary Sue powers, and emerges from that after being slugged many times with no marks on her whatsoever.
Is she the android now?
She's an android.
She's the android now.
That's why she was included in the last minute. That's why there's no marks on her, because her face is plastic. She was the first one to awaken because she wasn't actually asleep. She was just in power save mode.
Why would she need the compression suit?
She didn't. That was just to appear as normal for the rest of the crew. And the one who killed somebody in a bar in Jacksonville was her same model, but an earlier version that they quote-unquote fixed for this model.
But she has full awareness of that incident because she reacted like she knew exactly what Jared was talking about.
They're all connected through the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, she has files. She has files on her own creation.
Do you still think security officer is the android also?
No.
No,
He is not an android. He just acts like one. They're gonna come up with a specter of android later, and then bait us into thinking it's him.
Oh, I just came up with a new theory. Because they've really dug a hole in just the amount of food and water they have and how much they have to stretch it. It's not possible. They're actually all androids. And they don't know it.
I would not object to that as long as they pulled it off. You could pull. I could sit down and.
That's why the other people were ejected off. Like one of the androids went rogue and got rid of the humans.
This is all happening in a Matrix-like simulation in a ship that's actually the size of like a car.
I've read that book. I was going to bring that up. I forget what book that was, but where that was exactly what was happening.
Yeah, the captain, the crew, they're in simulation, but they know it. They know exactly what they are.
The whole thing is like 3 meters long, and it's being sent to Alpha Centauri or something.
That's like a typical sci-fi postulate. Wouldn't you want your android to be hotter?
Yeah, but you still could fuck it.
Maybe, hopefully.
That's important.
If it's the right kind of android. Do you think she has machine gun jubblies?
If we're lucky. But you don't usually want to bring those onto a spaceship.
That's true.
If she's actually an android, that forgives all of the Mary Sue-ness of that fight and her general abilities and stuff. And plus the fact that she's such a dick because she can't really get along with him.
Superior to everyone. Yeah.
The odds of her being an android with the technological level that they are showing on this show thus far is no. That's not going to happen.
Which makes perfect sense for what this show is. That is definitely something I think they'll just drop in there.
You think that makes it more likely that she is the android?
The only other option is she just got slugged in the face 3 times very hard without a mark on her.
There was also another interesting moment when he went outside to see what the damage was and that weird crystal stuff was there.
Yeah, Scottish guy, when he got the damage on his hand.
Here's a couple of thoughts about it. Number one, every time I watch the show, I'm like, fuck, I wish I had a Scottish accent. That's the coolest accent ever. I love Scottish accents. So men, women, it works. That just, yeah. And second one was opening scene. They're showing what's going on, and I'm like, yeah, recognize that guy. That's one of the lieutenants. Oh, yeah, recognize that guy. That's one of the lieutenants. And then they show this other dude, and I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah, red shirt.
And they're talking to him like he's like their best buddy. They hang out all the time. This guy's a fucking red shirt. He's going down hard. So, and then 20 seconds later.
You turn around and he's just impaled.
I totally called that as it was happening. It's like, sir, why did you have me wear a red shirt with you on today?
As you're making this show, I don't think you have the old school structure where it's like a pilot and then 6 months go by, it gets approved, and then you come back for like season 1, episode 2, and people have like different hair and are slightly changed. They make this shit one after the other after the other. Yeah. It's like in a block. So as you're making the first episode, why not have your red shirt picked out? Because obviously you have an outline, a blueprint, you know what's going to happen in episode 2. Have that guy be in episode 1 and have him do something. Have him be a character that interacts with people. Minor interactions. Something.
Like in The Expanse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why it's so easy to not be this shitty.
What about the creator of the whole project?
When they were doing the flashback and like showing the meeting before they left.
They couldn't have gotten the Max Headroom actor that does that in every movie.
Did you notice he showed up in the tight turtleneck? Steve Jobs style, because that's how you represent a tech genius nowadays.
Yeah.
You have to wear a tight turtleneck. That's the uniform of the tech genius. I'm thinking that once you pass a certain level on an IQ test or something, they issue you this tight black turtleneck.
Like in Venture Brothers.
Yeah, when you get your speed suit.
Did you notice what the Earth looked like in the background of those shots, Matt?
No. What?
Oh, God. Like the whole Earth was brown and the United States was just on fire.
It was on fire, but it was a still.
Yeah. But it was like mid-explosion, but like it took up like the whole center of the United States and it was just there.
It was like Kansas was exploding. There was just a mushroom cloud. And in the next shot, it was the same mushroom cloud.
Yeah.
Hadn't moved at all.
And they kept going back to it like over time and it was just always there. And you're like, what is going on Earth?
My most favorite character from last episode, I was intrigued by. He's not even burly or big, but he just acts big. He acts tough. It's, the security guy. Rob, you thought he was an android? Yeah. I've changed. My new favorite character is his sidekick.
Oh, the girl?
Yeah, the hot chick that's always wearing the tank top. And she's the one that Scottish guy crawled into the bed with.
Yeah.
And she always looks like really angry. Like the only thing restraining her from whooping ass is the security guy, the chief. So I like her. I want to know more about her. She looks like a dirty girl. She's probably an android, a dirty, dirty android.
Oh, they filled in one of Rob's plot holes as well.
I'd fill in one of her plot holes.
Yeah. They showed that they actually got to interact for 3 weeks before they left. So they had the 3 weeks to all like form Nemesis on the ship.
They had 1 week. They stated that repeatedly.
Oh, well, whatever it was. They had some time to each go and pick out a someone to hate on the ship.
Well, let's say like in this prospective future, they still have social media. So 1 week is definitely enough time for everybody to hate everybody.
Well, one of the girls is a social media girl.
Yeah.
She was brought on for the face of the mission.
A sexy blonde girl. I like how they developed her in this episode because last episode, I liked that she was wanting to give a BJ to get a shower. I'm like, wow, that's kind of hot and also stupid. But in this episode, it turns out she's like, they developed her character really well this episode. So
suddenly it made sense. Yes.
You know what? I changed my answer. She's my favorite. No, is she my favorite character?
Because you might see her naked. Yep.
Right. Do y'all got a favorite fave? Who are y'all faving on?
I kind of am liking more Serbian girl. The actress is really growing on me. She's doing a really bang-up job in this, otherwise pile of shit episode.
I think she looks like Rachel Blanchard. She's an actress.
She does, yeah.
She looks a lot like her. And so when her husband died, first, the scuttlebutt is, oh my God, they were actually married. They were married. And then the scuttlebutt's like, I'm kind of glad he's dead because she's kind of hot.
Jesus Christ.
There's got to be some dudes happy about that, right?
Right, yeah. She's kind of a babe, yeah.
What was going on with the acting with the black girl at the start of the episode?
Who, Nerd Girl?
Oh, God. Oh, fucking Nerd Girl. I want her to die 1,000 deaths.
Y'all loved her last episode. She was like both of y'all's pick.
Yeah. Oh, my God. She's bad. She is a bad actress and should not be involved in this.
They do need to back the fuck up on her a little bit, on her quirkiness.
Yeah.
I guess I like the Scottish guy the most. He seems pretty cool.
Scottish guy, yeah, he started out unlikable, but it was like in that scoundrelly, like when you first meet Han Solo, you might think he's kind of unlikable. So he's kind of the Han Solo of the show, right?
At no point has Han Solo been unlikable. What are you talking about?
When you first meet him, you're like, wait, what's going on with this guy? He's kind of a dick. Scottish dude, he seems to me like he was quite happy to be a, lowest rank officer. He wouldn't want to be enlisted because then you have to take a lot of shit. So he's good being a lieutenant, but he was also good not being a captain or whatever the next rank up is. I don't know if they're naval or if they're, whatever. I don't think they're Navy because there's no ensigns.
Yeah, they'd be ensigns if they were Navy.
The creators probably don't even know. It sounded good.
He was happy where he was, and now suddenly he's ostensibly second-ish, third-ish, possibly first-ish in command. I don't know. Any final thoughts on the ARK?
Continues to entertain.
It was a more competent episode than the first.
It was less hilarious and yet more competent.
It was almost a pretty good episode.
It's like somebody with Down syndrome. If they fall down the stairs, then burst into flames, that's pretty fucking fun. Well, that's pretty goddamn funny, right? That was the first episode. The second episode is just the kid with Down syndrome, like playing with a butterfly or something. So it's still mentally disabled.
Yeah.
The whole series as yet. But it wasn't as, pratfall, stepping on their dick, rolling downstairs, bursting into flame. It wasn't that.
Which I see as kind of an ominous development. They need to either be really bad or really good.
If everything's like up from here, if the show continuously improves, that might actually make the show suck, because at the bottom where the first episode was, it was kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
If it starts crawling its way up through mediocrity, it might get pretty goddamn boring.